Hello everyone and welcome to Inside Healthcare. We have a great program for you of inspiring stories. We begin with a look at two incredible local HealthEast volunteers, Linda and Jane Klein. They have a program that is helping women with stage 4 cancer or advanced cancer, and it was just announced that Linda and Jane are being recognized as Carrie Levin's 2014 11 Who Care. We'll talk with them in just a moment, but first, with special permission from Carrie Levin, here's a rebroadcast of Linda and Jane's inspiring story.
I was diagnosed in August of 2012
I've been battling
with
cancer
stage 4
since
cancer.
I was 33.
It's ovarian
Stage
cancer,
4
colon
stage 4
cancer,
breast
and
cancer.
stage 4 from the start.
Remission almost 11 years.
5 years out.
Stage 4 breast cancer survivor.
Feels like it's been so long.
The idea of coming out into nature without doctors, without chemotherapy,
Without families.
and it sort of takes the weight off of their shoulders, and they get to know each other on a much more intimate level.
She had an allergy or reaction to every single treatment that they tried.
But there are certain things that you need a group like a stage 4 support group to help you with, because they're the ones who really understand.
They strip away all the things that are not important and only dwell on the things that are important.
Just the feeling of the women that have been here with us
images of
before.
them just
We feel
popping
them
into you.
here
Yeah.
in this beautiful cottage. It's full of love.
She was just a hoot. I just loved her.
I thought if anybody could give it to doctors, it would be Diane.
It was Melinda next.
One of their main concerns is, will you forget about me?
You'll carry
Will
Melinda?
you forget about me when I'm gone?
It was a blood test, her tumor marker.
They know that we're all going to gather and we're all going to be there. And there's something really comforting about that, I think.
We honor the people who have died over the past year.
I really welcome the idea of being in there with them, that we're gathering there and that they're waiting for us too.
Melinda, I hope that you find peace in the cold.
Self-care is a priority.
You find out your strengths.
Having this disease just makes you appreciate everything
Opens your
so
eyes.
much.
And you find the gifts.
Nobody has that guarantee that you have tomorrow.
Always with hope.
I wouldn't be who I am today without the cancer, much less this group. So.
And we'd like to thank Carrie Levin for allowing us to play that rebroadcast. We're very pleased to have with us Linda Klein and Jane Klein, longtime volunteers at HealthEast. And thank you so much, and congratulations on being named 2014 11 Who Care. So very deserving to both of you. Thank you.
We're very excited.
So before we get talking about the program that you have, why don't you tell us about, you both have the same last name, spelled the same, but you're not related. How is
No,
that?
we're not. We're college roommates from Gustavus, and we were put into what we famously call a closet. We were supposed to each have a room, but they overbooked, and so Jane and I
I think a lot of students
got
can
stuck
relate to
in
that.
it.
Yeah.
Got stuck
Stacked up to the wall.
in a very small closet, and we hit it off immediately, and then we went on.
And you decided you liked her name better than your name? Or?
No.
We both married
We
Bill
both married
Klein's.
Bill Klein's, unknown to one another. So.
How confusing is that?
It's very confusing. Yeah.
So we call them senior and junior because my Bill Klein is a little bit older than her Bill Klein.
Oh, fun. That's wonderful. So at some point you decided to start this program, Affirming Life. Tell us what it is exactly, whoever wants to jump off on that.
Linda's the founding mother of the group.
Of the group.
And what it is, and why did you start it?
Well, as you know, Jane and I go back a long way, and so long ago, when Jane was a nurse at St. Francis Hospital in Shakopee, she was piloting the I Can Cope program, which was just then brand new.
Okay.
And that's how I got interested in cancer care, because Jane would say it was so successful. These women, these people get together for 8 weeks and they become not so afraid of cancer anymore, and they become a community of friends.
And that's all cancers, and it's all stages of cancer.
Right, right. So then as years went by, I wrote some material about I Can Cope. Jane later got involved in the breast care center at HealthEast, and I was doing a support group for women with breast cancer, and one of my people in the group, Donna, came forward to me and said, I think it would be nice to have a group for women with stage 4 cancer, because they scare the people in this group and they have different issues. And that was, I went to the person who was in charge at the time and asked for space, and that's how it got started.
And in the meantime, I was working in the breast care center and was facilitating a breast cancer support group at St. John's, and could validate what she's saying. It's not comfortable for a stage 4 person to come into a breast cancer support
I
group.
hadn't even thought about that.
And
but
vice versa. I mean,
can see.
the group members don't feel comfortable either when they hear the story, because they think, oh, it's going to be me next. So
Yeah, very scary. And so when we started the group, there were 4 people in the very beginning. Donna facilitated for many years with me. Then her cancer recurred. And as she steadily declined, Jane stepped in then to co-facilitate with me going forward into the future. So
that was about 2001, I think.
Yeah. So it started in '98, so it's been 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So how does that program work then? You meet frequently?
We meet once a week, every Tuesday at 11:30 at St. John's Hospital, religiously.
Come rain or shine.
Come rain or shine, snow or whatever. And then we're blessed with the opportunity for 2 retreats a year, thanks to generous
2
donors.
retreats.
And that's what we saw in the video previously. And we were so delighted that they could come with us, because it's hard to explain to people what really happens at this glorious retreat until you're actually there and you see it.
So we saw a little bit in this video. What is it? A whole weekend? Is it? How long is the retreat?
It's actually 3.5 days. The first day is travel, so people can come early and settle in and have a nice dinner, and then the retreat starts on the second day, and that runs for 2 days. And then there's the travel home, of course. So people caravan up there with, in cars and carpool and get a good night's sleep the night before. And then when we start the retreat, we bring a speaker up with us, or Linda and I will facilitate a discussion out of the ordinary of what we usually do on a weekly basis.
So what kinds of things would the speaker, or would you talk about? I mean, what are some of the issues that you discuss?
Well, the speaker this time did a little bit sort of delving into the topic was what you can have control of when things seem out of control, because it's so important. You do feel your life is out of control. And so we talked about some meditation, we talked about being in nature, we talked about spirituality, and the person who came, Mary O'Keefe, was wonderful, and she really led a great discussion.
I'm familiar with her,
Yeah, so we're able to do this cost-free for our people because of really generous donations through the HealthEast Foundation, and we couldn't do it without that. And the fund is just constantly being replenished, and we're so grateful for that.
Other things that we've had a music therapist come up. Linda and I have done some, we'll find a book that someone has read that they really enjoyed, so we'll buy books for everyone and then discuss the topic of hope or the topic of resilience, various things that come up during the year that people might have some interest in or have kind of touched on the surface of, so that we can go in a little deeper and talk about it.
One year we had a person from hospice come and just share all the information that they needed to know about hospice and why you would go to hospice, what hospice can do for you. We're not afraid to talk about death and dying, and that's one of the nice things for these women, that this is a place where they can come and share some of those concerns and those fears.
Yeah, I haven't had the privilege of going to one of the retreats, but I've been there for the meetings, one of the weekly meetings, and it was just so inspiring, and it was all about living life to the fullest.
Every single minute.
It was just amazing.
They gain so much from one another, so much from one another. They leave every time with a spirit that they didn't necessarily come in with that morning, and that's what's really nice to see.
Yeah, they come in with fear and anxiety, and they don't really want to talk to their family members about it because they don't want to make them cry or make them unhappy or sad. But when they come into the support group, they can say anything they want to, because everybody's been through it. They know what it feels like.
Yeah.
And so once you process that out loud, your fear, your concerns, your anxieties, your grief, then it kind of loses its power. And then they can sit and listen to the next person that comes in.
We just have a couple of minutes left. left. You don't have to belong to HealthEast or be a HealthEast patient
No, anyone is
attend.
welcome. We have people coming from Eden Prairie.
We have people coming from Grantsburg, Wisconsin.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. And then if they want to get more information or join the group, what can they do?
Well, there's a website at healtheast.org. It's listed under classes on the new website, and it's called the Affirming Life Support Group. So, you know, that would be one way of looking up. Our numbers are on there, ways of getting a hold of us. We'd love to talk to them before they come to group, so that we can just kind of prepare them for, you know, what to expect and how to get there and all of that, where we are in the building. So just the website, and then any other ways they can get a hold of us at this point. There's brochures out in the community and around the hospitals.
And a part of the HealthEast has a brochure that has all the classes, and we're in there. So.
Yeah, they could just call the Cancer Center at St. John's Hospital, and they could give the numbers.
Great. And then just finally, what does it mean to each of you to be recognized by Care 11 and 11 Who Care?
To me, it means how wonderful the group is. We wouldn't be on 11 Who Care unless we had a couple of really crafty group people who put together the nomination, and that is wonderful because it tells us that what we do matters to them.
And I think to me, this is a way for us to get the word out that we're here and that we want people to come in. So whether the person has stage 4 cancer now, or they know of someone who has it, or someday they'll know somebody who has it, they'll remember that perhaps remember that we're here.
That's awesome. It's so wonderful that you guys have put this program together and continue to do it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Jody.
Thanks for having
and
us,
congratulations.
Jody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jane Klein, Linda Klein, thank you. Still ahead, another inspiring story. You're going to meet an inspiring world-class athlete and how he's motivating kids. So stay with us.
Here we go. We're gonna make some juice.
It's gonna be good.
She's excited. A little bit of kale.
Please don't put this on line. I'm putting it all over the line.
It's wet. It needs something. No, it'll go.
Don't break my juicer. Looks good.
You ready to try it?
Come on, baby.
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
It's okay.
Okay, all right.
They might surprise you.
She took another sip. You saw it?
Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
A unique dance program is coming to St. Paul. It's designed just for people living with Parkinson's. As you will see, it's very inspiring.
Step snap.
This is a dance class for people with Parkinson's and movement disorders called Dancing with Parkinson's.
Step together.
I think it meets so many needs of people with Parkinson's. Due to their difficulties with movement and walking, getting out of the community can be very difficult. And so having this class just for them is a social outing. It can decrease their depression, anxiety, and it creates a comfortable space for any of their self-expression or movements. So it's meeting all their physical, cognitive, spiritual, and emotional needs by being a part of this program.
And you can even let yourself collapse in the middle so that you're going up, collapse.
As a therapist, it's so exciting to see them be able to make the movements their own. And maybe they're having a sore shoulder day or a sore leg, but they can still participate to whatever level they can do, and it's wonderful. Even if their right arm doesn't go as high, it's okay. They can still do the best that they can and are still involved in the class.
Up, cross, open.
It feels so good to get your neck and shoulders, lower body, your legs moving. And that takes about 20 minutes or so. Then we do some isolations of shoulders, neck movements, and then we move into our choreography. So our instructors come up with a certain piece of music and have specific choreography for it.
Doff your hat.
All in all, it's a wonderful time that we have.
I like it. I recommend it to anybody.
It's exercise hidden under the disguise of dancing.
I come because I love dance and I want to keep active.
I think this is such a big piece of our Parkinson's community and a program that people leave their house for during the week. Besides just going out for grocery shopping, this is their other activity that pulls them out be social and to enjoy themselves. And I'm really excited to be able to provide that for everyone.
Nice. Next part.
And those dance classes for people living with Parkinson's start Thursday, June 19th. They will be held at the St. Paul JCC and will be held every Thursday, 10 to 11 a.m. Cost is $5 per person. To register, call 651-232-2166. Now we turn our attention to an upcoming exciting program for kids ages 7 through 17 called Breakaway Kids Try. And to tell us about this program, we're very pleased to have with us and excited to have with us world-class athlete, 6-time world triathlon champion, Tony Schiller. Thank you for being with us.
Absolutely.
And also joining us is a high school student, Christina Swenson. So thank you for, I understand you came quite a distance to be with us today, so thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me.
So before we talk about the upcoming event, Tony, maybe tell us about your breakaway philosophy. What is it exactly?
Well, I'm a classic late bloomer as an athlete. And as a kid, I struggled and failed in a lot of sports. I was cut from 7 different teams.
Oh my gosh.
Growing up in St. Paul.
You would think you would just hide and curl up and hide away.
Well, I kind of got tired of being cut, but I finally had a breakthrough with running. And it was because of having a gentleman from the neighborhood take me out for a run. And actually I had wonderful gifts as an endurance athlete, but never knew that. And so the idea of breakaway is, even though at a young age I assumed that I never would see a breakaway in my life. I started to believe that I was destined for nothing. There was a breakaway waiting for me. So the philosophy is introducing kids to different things in life and setting up opportunities for them to actually have their own breakaway at a much younger age and put them on a different path.
And breakaway is a term that a triathlon
in racing, such as in the Tour de France, the breakaway is you're with the whole pack and then you make a move and you break away.
Okay.
But it takes guts to actually have that move, and so we want to introduce kids to that Spitfire quality of attitude inside themselves to go for it, to go for their own breakaway in life. And so we have an event called the Breakaway Kids Try.
And you really have a passion for inspiring young people, and why is that? I mean, why has this become a passion for you?
Well, I think it was my purpose in life to reach kids that at one point didn't have in particular a place in sports. And reach kids that do have good athletes as well, but to show them what's possible. I went through a lot of struggles, but I've had a lot of successes along the way, and now it's my time to give back. And what of course we do it with the charity focus, which is so important and opens kids up to the idea of something greater than themselves.
And the charity focus brings in Christina.
Yes.
So I understand that you have about a decade of experience raising money for fundraisers.
Yes.
It doesn't seem like you're old enough to have had a decade worth, but can you tell us how much you have raised for charity, and how do you go about doing that?
Up to this point, I've raised over $50,000.
That is incredible. 50, you said 50, right?
Yes, yes.
50K.
And you know, I started small, simply emails to family and friends, door to door in my neighborhood. And
50,000 door to door?
Worked up, you know, after years I decided to host a silent auction and had that for about 3 years, speaking to Rotary clubs, Lion clubs. You know, there's lots of community outreach, but it all started small. You know, you don't have to start out with a huge big event like that.
And what charities have you helped along the way then?
I fundraised for the Miracles of Mitch Foundation, and now I'm excited to be on this new adventure with Cycle Health, because I absolutely have a passion for helping kids have their breakaway moments.
How does somebody get started when they're, no matter what age, as a child? How can they go about following in your footsteps, basically?
I just want kids to know that absolutely anyone can do it. My first race, I registered 3 days before the triathlon.
3 days?
3 days.
So you were really prepared, right?
And your mom did not want you to do it, right?
No, she looked at the postcard and she said, "This is crazy. Kid, you can't just do a triathlon. People train for months and months for these events." And I said, "No, Mom, I'm going to do this. I will make it happen." And without my persistence, I never would have gotten to where I am today. So I challenge kids to be determined and to know that they can do it. And I encourage parents to let their kids try something new.
So can you tell us about this exciting, first of its kind adventure event coming up?
Well, I've always wanted to branch out into a different kind of triathlon. First off, it's at Lake Elmo Park, and when I saw the park last year for the first time, I went, this is just waiting for a world-class event.
I used to take my kids there all the time when they were younger, yeah.
This park with the man-made lake, which is chlorine-based, and it's all clean and no fish, so no one has to worry about weeds or fish. But the whole surroundings and the whole area with the campgrounds and with the closed roads, it was tailor-made for a kids triathlon. And so imagine hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids racing safely, lots of volunteers, and then we're going to throw in obstacles. So the whole idea is a ball. Well, the kids get so wrapped up in the actual doing that they're not worried about how they're doing.
And safety, of course, is a main concern as well.
Yeah.
This is something that's safe for the kids to do?
Well, yes, and the distances are very, very safe to do, but we also have a great track record. Over the years, I've had 12,000 kids finish my triathlons.
12,000.
And knock on wood, we've been so blessed to not have any serious incidents, but I think that's how you set up the whole energy of the day. You make it less about who wins, and you make it more about the spirit of doing, and all the kids are inspired because they're racing for charity. And I know Christina would love to talk about this year's charity.
Oh, why don't you tell us about this year's charity then?
The charity that we chose, I'm the head of the Kids Advisory Panel at Cycle Health, and we're a group of 20 kids that makes real-world decisions, and one of those decisions is choosing our charity partners for the Cycle Health events. And our first charity we chose was to help Children's Hospital in Minneapolis fund a new pain clinic that they're building to provide patients who have chronic pain with the doctors with the space that they need to treat these patients, because there's just not enough space and there's so much need in this area.
Wow, what a nice group to pick. That's really awesome that you're going to be able to do that.
And so even though it's at Children's, the reality is it helps all of Minnesota, because what they're specifically going to do at this clinic is have all sorts of specialty caregivers there. And so when let's say at HealthEast or at other facility, when a patient or when a doctor feels they've taken a child as far as they can take them in their dealing with their physical pain, they would go there for some specialized treatment to hopefully get them back to a normal life. And so it's going to be fed by hospitals and clinics all around Minnesota, and we're helping create a kind of a special home feel there.
We have just a second here left, or a minute. So very quickly, advice for kids watching that might want to get involved?
I encourage them just to go for it. Absolutely, all it takes is one step outside of their comfort zone, and it's a snowball effect. They can absolutely change their life.
And Tony, again, the event, when is it?
The event is August 23rd, Saturday morning, and it will be at Lake Elmo Park Reserve. They can check our website, which is cyclehealth.org, to register, and first-timers. We want lots of first-timers.
Sounds like it's going to be an awesome event. So thank you for coming here and telling us all about it. Really appreciate it.
You bet.
Thanks, Tony and Christina. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'd like to thank you for joining us. We hope you'll join us next time here on Inside Healthcare. See you then, everyone.
Inside Healthcare. For more information, visit stjohnshospital-mn.org or call 651-326-7800.